true laser track system for aligning the Polaris Slingshots. What we're going to do here is start. We've already centered the machine up on our center lines. What we're doing now is placing our ride height blocks. There's 2 holes in the block. They register on the 2 bolts that come out the bottom of the coilover. All right, Mikey, let her down. We slowly let the jack down onto the blocks. They register on the 2 holes underneath of the control line. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. The blocks are marked right and left. Okay, Michael, let her down. Once the control arm is centered on the block, what you're going to do is settle the chassis on each side. And how we do that is we just go up and down on each side of the chassis and shake it. This settles the chassis on the ride height blocks. Once we've done that, we're going to take our steering wheel and we're going to turn it all the way one way. We're going to count our turns all the way back. There's 1, 2 and a half. We're going to come back 1 1/4. That's centering our steering wheel. We've got a little bubble level. Take the bubble level and put it on the steering wheel. Now some of them it'll fit, some of them it won't. If it's an aftermarket wheel, what I'll do is I'll put it on the bottom center post, and I center the wheel like that. So the wheel is centered. Now we're going to bolt our lasers on. The laser's marked left and right. Use the same lug nuts to put it on. It goes on there. Oh, right there. When you bolt it up, get all your lugs on. Don't use an impact wrench. Remember, you're working with a precision piece of equipment that's machined to the millionth, so you don't want to gouge it or bend it. What we're going to do once we get all the lugs on and center the adapter on the hub, we're just going to take an open-end box wrench and just snug them by hand. Should be a 17 out, Mikey. So we're just taking an open-end box and we're just snugging them, just to make sure that they're on and centered. And that's how you install the adapters. Once we've got the adapters installed, this is a SL model, so we're going to set our rear targets. For the SL model, you're going to set our rear targets at approximately 39 1/16. And we're going to go off of the rear rim, right there. Let's back this up to the back line, Michael. Here, bring her back. Okay. We're using a long straight edge. It makes things a lot easier. So we're on the rim. We're going to go to 39 1/16 on the center mark. We're 39 and 1/16. On the left, we're going over to the right and do the same thing. (39 1/16). Now, that's established our center point on the SL model. We've centered our steering wheel. We're going to rotate the lasers on and see if we're pointed right, left, and how much toe's in it. This one's got a little bit of toe out. The right front does. How's the left front? Yeah. Right here, Michael. Okay, we're towed out on the right front. We're towed in on the left front. I'm going to see what the dimensions are. Overall, remember, you're looking at half of what the dimension is. So we're almost an inch, so this has got almost 2 inches of toe on the left front. And it's got the toe in. The right front has got 1/8 of an inch, which is actually 1/4 of an inch toe out. So we're towed out on the right front, we're towed in on the left. So the front end is like this. It's cocked. When the steering wheel is straight, it's trying to go right. And all that's doing is making the machine crab going down the road and eating up tires. So we're going to do a quick overall and see what the overall toe is. What we're looking for is between 3/8 and 1/2 inch of toe in over 228 inches. It's 114 to the rear, 114 to the front. What was your left? 1/8 in. Or 1/8 out. Left, oh no, left side is, this side here is 1 inch towed in. What I'm doing now is I'm pointing the lasers down at our stick on each side so we can establish the overall toe. I'm just going to we've got you on one on the other side, Michael?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're 90 in the rear. Now we're going to go to the front and check the front. We're 88 1/4, so it's got 2 3/4 of an inch of toe in it right now. So this thing would kill the front tires. I can let me do a calculation, and I'll tell you exactly what that is in thousandths. As soon as I find my calculator. So we are 2.750. That's the amount of toe in over 228 inches. So we divide that by 228 equals 1.21 thousandths per inch times 25. That's the diameter of the tires. We've got 302 thousandths toe. We're looking for 40 thousandths. So it's got way too much toe in it. This thing wouldn't last probably 3,000 miles. The tires would be bald. Total toe, 302 thousandths. Okay, we've established that it's got way too much toe in it. So how are we going to correct it? What we're going to do now is we've established our rear dimension. We're going to rotate our lasers up onto our rear targets, and we're going to adjust our tie rod, keeping the steering wheel center. These are pretty easy because when you adjust the tie rod, usually it doesn't affect the steering rack. So we're going to just rotate the laser back up onto the rear, and we're going to adjust it until it gets centered. You crack the jam nut loose. Yeah, nothing. Crack the jam nut loose. Take a number 12, and it fits on the tie rod here as soon as I find it. And we're going to adjust this. Is it on the 0?
I need your eyes, Mikey.
Which way's it got to go? Good, we're zeroed on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten my jam nut and snug it to make sure that it hasn't moved. So I hold my tie rod, take my jam nut, and I just squeeze her up. Check my dimension in the back. How are we?
Went in a little bit.
Went in a little bit. Sometimes that happens when you tighten the jam nut, it'll take some of the toe out of it. Alright, so I'm going to crack it loose again. Get my number 12. I'm going to go a little bit on the fat side. Oh. Alright, I'm going to tighten the jam nut and see if it takes some of the toe out. Tight. Dead on?
Dead on.
Okay. Double check your steering wheel. He's checking the steering wheel right now to make sure that's still centered. Good. Now we're going to go over to the right front. Same procedure here. Crack the jam nut loose. Take your number 12. And go back and make sure you're 0. Good. Then
Yes.
I'm going to lock it down. Same thing, I'm just going to snug it. Make sure it doesn't change. Snug. Good.
Yeah, a hair favor in, but
All right, let's see what our overall toe is. We're not going to change our rear targets. We're going to rotate the lasers. Okay, he's going to set the rear on 1, burn an inch on the scale. Now we're going to rotate the lasers to the front, and we're going to slide our front targets until we're centered up on the laser. You just take the front target and you slide it over until it's centered up on the scale. That's the left front. Now we're going to go to the right, or that was the right front, we're going to go to the left front now. And he's sliding the scale over. He's centering it up. Got her? All right. Take your scale, set it on 1 inch, Michael. Okay. Your rear toe right now is 89 3/16. Your front toe,
88 7/8.
88 7/8. We got an 8, got a quarter. We got 5/16, almost 3/8. She's good to go. This thing won't eat tires and it'll handle good. We're going to have our customer drive it, and he'll give us the final okay. And that's how you do an alignment.
Shortcuts.
Oh, the shortcut to this is marking the floor. We've got it marked for slingshots and spiders. The 75-inch line off the center is for spiders. The 114-inch line is for slingshots. So we're 114 inches off the center to the front, 114 inches off the center to the rear, and that's where we set our targets. There's our center mark.